She was required to be naked and to open up her vagina and open up her anus so that they could look inside.
And trust me, this isn't the worst thing that officers from Greater Manchester Police, GMP, did without any reasonable grounds to certain women from the local community around the year 2022. In October 2022, Dannika Stewart was arrested, quite out of the blue by all accounts, for blackmail.
Right, Dannika, the time's 10:42. You're under arrest on suspicion of blackmail and...
Dannika rapidly learned that the person accusing her of blackmail was a man that she had, 3 months earlier, reported to the police for an alleged sexual offence against a young person. Given the source of that allegation, one may well wonder what evidence the police had that that allegation could actually be true. And this is where Dannika's story takes a rather dark and notably disturbing twist.
Her story began when she reported an alleged sexual crime committed against a young person, but complained to the police watchdog that it wasn't being properly investigated. She told them she'd recorded a police officer admitting failures.
I have no idea what evidence Dannika's arrest for blackmail was founded on, but Dannika does.
She believes this happened because she'd complained about the police.
Dannika's arrest didn't come from any actual evidence at all, according to her claim.
Then, inside a police cell, she was told to strip naked.
So I took my tracksuit bottoms off, which I knew they were going to take away from me anyway, and I've took my leggings off, and then I've took my knickers off, so I'm just sat there naked.
So why do you think they strip searched you?
It's power, because when I left the police station that day, the sergeant on the desk said to me, you need to drop all your complaints against the police. They needed to show me who was boss.
I too am wondering what exactly the police were looking for when they subjected Dannika to a strip search. What, if anything, they found in that strip search, I'm unable to say. I am, however, able to report that Dannika isn't the only one who says that she, Dannika that is, was basically the victim of a campaign of bullying by the police in an effort of theirs to get her to drop her complaints against them.
Dannika became a target of that police force. She was seen as trouble. She was seen as a threat to Greater Manchester Police. And what they did, they decided they were going to go and lock her up. And just like in the post office, it is about concealing what is going on. It is trying to protect the reputation of an organisation that is a very powerful public body.
The former Victims Commissioner, Dame Vera Baird KC, conducted an independent inquiry into allegations of improper exercise of police powers in the GMP in response to an investigation by Sky News, whose news reports I'm presenting here, into how women were being inappropriately strip searched by officers from GMP. Dame Vera Baird KC is no fool.
The truth is, once you're through those doors, it is police and police and police and no one but police. And so they can do what they want. I have seen all the body-worn video, all the custody video, all the statements, and it is a rare mind that is not a police mind that looks at these and sees, my goodness, you're not treating the public well.
Understandably, Dannika sought redress for her strip search, which has since been deemed unlawful by the Baird report, I believe.
Dannika filed another complaint, this time about her strip search. An internal police investigation claimed she hadn't been strip searched. She asked Greater Manchester Authority to review this, and they found the internal investigator hadn't actually watched the CCTV of her time in custody.
Outrageous, insulting, infuriating. Even if this egregiously flawed investigation into the matter of Dannika's strip search doesn't amount to a criminal offence, is there not some sort of disciplinary procedure that those involved in the investigation should face? If so, were those who carried out the investigation subject to that procedure, and what was the outcome? If not, how can there be no consequences for such shocking misconduct and breach of public faith, as I see it?
Dannika repeatedly applied for her right to be given the footage and was eventually told it had been corrupted.
Were the police ever required to prove that? Were they asked how the footage got corrupted, if it did? I'm assuming that the police officers who performed the strip search in question just denied performing it if they were actually asked if they performed it, and were very conveniently believed by those asking. Now, as to who was asking, Dannika reports somewhat disturbingly that her complaint against the police for her strip search seems to have been addressed by the very officer who carried out the strip search.
Dannika says the problem is that the complaint system through the independent watchdog website go directly to the force themselves, in one instance to the officer she was complaining about.
Whether complaints against GMP are now dealt with not by GMP themselves but by an independent body I can't say. This may be a recommendation of the Baird report, but again I can't say. I'll also tell you at this point that what, if anything, has since happened to the officers involved in Dannika's case, as well as those who have performed other unlawful strip searches, isn't revealed in this news report from Sky. This means that we tax-paying members of the public who have to be able to trust the police whose services we fund don't even get the satisfaction of knowing that the police officers in question are being or have been brought to justice. More importantly, neither do Dannika and the other victims of malicious arrest and unlawful strip searches that officers from GMP appear to have committed. And speaking of further victims,
Dame Vera examined the case raised by Sky News of a domestic violence victim we called Maria, who'd gone to the police station to recover money from her detained partner, but was arrested herself after she expressed frustration with officers because no one would help her. Despite knowing she was also a sexual abuse victim, police strip-searched her to look for a concealed vape.
She was required to be naked and to open up her vagina and open up her anus so that they could look inside.
At the time of this recording, Maria, the cover name given to this victim, remained answerable to the police.
We can reveal that despite all of these findings, Maria is still due to appear in court over the police allegations.
What allegations? Concealing a vape is the only thing that was mentioned. What criminal offence, if any, does that actually come under? Whatever the answer to that is, how can a criminal charge made by parties who have themselves committed an illegal act in their apparent search for evidence on which to found that charge even get off the ground?
Dame Vera found the arrest and strip search unlawful, adding it also highlights how police readily criminalise traumatised women who express frustration with the police response.
An illegal search is the very sort of thing that can lead to a criminal case being thrown out of court. Personally, I certainly hope that this is what happens in Maria's case. I also hope that the officers who performed her illegal strip search are thrown out of the police force and into prison. From the empty, rhetorical mumbo-jumbo from Chief Constable Stephen Watson from GMP that says everything except that the police officers involved in the cases of both Dannika and Maria deserve to be prosecuted for their conduct, you'd think we were talking about nothing more than police officers dropping litter.
Dame Vera has pointed to a number of examples where, at best, people might describe what we've done as crass, insensitive, and frankly wrong. At worst, they might suspect that some of our people have malign intent. Where wrongdoing is
Enough of that empty, token, meaningless, self-serving sermon, where what I think are the obvious criminal offences committed by the officers involved in the cases named are not even hinted at. Chief Constable Watson doesn't dare accept any liability on behalf of his officers for legal reasons, I'm guessing. Improper exercise of police powers and blatant breaches of PACE, the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, are just two of the criminal offences that I believe that some of Chief Constable Watson's officers have committed. Personally, I can't see the following defence working for the police officers involved in the two cases covered in the event that they are actually made to answer for their blatant wrongdoing.
The strategic priority to increase arrests may be driving unwise and unlawful arrests.
If this video has gripped you, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.